are times where God works and speaks to us directly on a personal level, and then there are other times where He convicts His whole body of believers to march forward and to take ground for the kingdom. And what I have seen, and I think we've all seen over and over again, is when our faith intersects with God's faithfulness, He does amazing things. Ephesians 3:20 says this. It says, God is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. To Him be the glory in the church and in Christ throughout all generations. We've seen this God of immeasurably more do incredible things in our church already. We've seen Him over a season of transition embolden our church and help us to not just stand firm, but to grow and take ground for the kingdom. We've seen Him free us up to have baptisms in church, where we've had 30 baptisms this year, something that we thought we'd never be able to do. God is removing obstacle after obstacle after obstacle for our church, and He is doing it again. I believe that God is doing it in such a way that He is providing us with a church home, with a building for us to be able to have some stability, for us to invite the community into, where the community can look at the stability that we have in the ground that God has given us and see the type of firm foundation that the gospel conveys to all. It's creating a space to invite people into a welcoming environment where they can be known, loved, pursued, cared for, challenged, and grown into the disciples that they're meant to be. This building that we have been looking at over the past few months is a building that has acreage. It's got green space for our kids to play in. It will have a playground for them to goof off on. There's going to be a worship center that's plenty big for not just our church where it is now, but for us to grow into. Parking, a cafe. Can you believe it? We'll have coffee that we can bring into service. Like, sometimes we're not supposed to do that, but some of us break the rules a little bit. There's going to be a space for us to be able to grow as a church and also to do ministry throughout the week. That's one of the ways that we're hindered as a church, is we can't do ministry in the way that I believe that God is calling us to with the space that we currently have. And so we're in the process of purchasing a building right now that we did a survey on about a couple months ago, back in June, where the congregation overwhelmingly had positive response to us engaging in the purchase of this building. We're moving forward with that. Simultaneously, we've had some architects come in. We wanted them to look at it, kind of speak into it, and let us know, like, hey, is this a realistic hope based on what you know? It's actually an architecture firm that only works with churches. So based on what you know with what churches need, is this going to meet our needs? They've come back with really positive responses. So where we are right now is we're just kind of on the edge of stepping into what we believe God is calling us to and actually has for us in His provision. And in that process, I wanted to invite you into some of the details. So we are looking at a project that is going to cost roughly $4.3 million. Of that, we already have $1 million already fundraised and ready to go directly to that building. We've got some extra reserves that we're going to be able to put in as well. But we want to have a loan that is manageable for our church. And so our goal right now, our target is 101. 101, what that represents is 100% participation. If you call this church your home, we're asking you to engage in the battle as we step forward in what God is calling us to. 100% participation to raise $1 million over the course of 3 years. It's going to be a process where we each are prayerfully engaging on what God is calling us to give over a 3-year period that we can help champion this mission, get our church a home that we can continue carrying the mission wherever we are. And just know that when I say 100%, I'm not just talking about you. This is something that our staff is wrestling with. Our elders are wrestling with. Me and Jenny, we're wrestling through what can we give up in our current lifestyle that we can invest in something that we believe is far more important. So in an effort to do that, we're going to start a campaign. It's the Immeasurably More campaign. It's built around the idea that God is immeasurably more than we could think or imagine, and we're seeing that right now as He provides a home for our church. This campaign is going to take course over 4 weeks. It's going to start September 15th, go to 22nd, 29th, and end October 6th. And here's what that's going to look like. The first 3 weeks of the campaign, after service, we're going to have vision meetings. I'm sure you've got questions. You should have questions. If you were in the message this week, I shared, I expect our body of believers to speak up. And I want you to feel freedom to be able to ask the questions that you have as we engage in this process. So we're going to have a vision meeting where we unpack the finances, we unpack the building, we look at the layout. You're going to get to see what the outside looks like, or actually what it will look like after a renovation. You're going to get to understand where the costs are being designated and how we're managing that, and a little bit about the team that's helping lead the charge. And so if you've got questions, or maybe you don't, we want you to prioritize. Make it a priority for you to be at one of the 3 vision meetings. They're exactly the same. You don't need to be at all of them, but we want to make sure that you've got space to be there either on the 15th, the 22nd, or the 29th at 11:45 a.m. Now the 22nd is a little bit special. It's going to be one that we have childcare for. We know we have a lot of young families. We want to create a space for them to be able to do that. If you are attending and you need childcare on the 22nd, we ask that you register online. If you do not need childcare and you're able to attend another vision meeting, we're going to ask you to prioritize that to create extra space for our families. Not only are we doing these vision meetings, but on September 22nd, at 6 p.m., we're going to have a worship and prayer night where we're going to get to pray through and worship God on what He is calling us to in this next season. And here's the cool part. We're going to do that at the building. We're going to be outside on the premises praying over the ground that God, I believe, is giving us to be able to help champion His mission wherever we are. And so this is going to be a chance for us together as a body of believers to give God the praise and to pray over what we believe is coming in the next season. And then October 6th, it's all capstoned with us coming together in service where we're going to give our pledge over the course of 3 years on what we can provide, and we're going to want to celebrate in that. We're going to have that service October 6th, and then October 20th, we're calling it Celebration Sunday. It's going to be the Sunday where we unveil where we landed in this capital campaign, and here's the cool part. We're praying with expectation. I believe, again, God is a God of immeasurably more, and that we will be able to accomplish this goal as we step forward in His call. Guys, I am excited and expectant for what God is going to do. I just ask that you, as you move forward with your families, that you're praying over what this can look like for you guys. Pray over the building, pray over the space, pray over the community that we will be stepping into, and also be praying over what would it look like for you to engage in this campaign. That we as God's people can reach 100% participation to raise over $1 million. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for engaging. I know you've got questions, and I'm here to be able to answer those. You can email me at josh@180lifechurch.org, or you can join us at one of those vision meetings, which I would definitely encourage you to prioritize, that you can get all the information you need, that together we can make an informed, wise choice as we step into God's call. Thank you.